Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So I just want to talk about two different types of sumo deadlift high pulls and why we might use one over the other. And this kind of goes back to a lot of the thinking we have around just context being the key to everything, and why the way we might set up and do a 1 rep max deadlift, snatch, clean, anything might be a little different than how, or the techniques we use for lighter, faster variations of it. There are certain positions that can maximize efficiency at certain parts, and then other ways we can do things when max effort and weight and being absolutely technically proficient with super heavy weight doesn't really give us that much of an advantage, or it's probably a detriment because of the extra time we're spending trying to get into these positions when the weight is lighter and we're trying to go faster. So really we've got two different types of sumo deadlift high pulls. I'll do 3 of just kind of the hard hip hinge type real fast, and I'll do 3 kind of as the pull in and jump type, and we'll see if you can tell a difference, and then we'll kind of go through and talk about what the difference really is. So in that sumo deadlift high pull, I'm just taking that wide stance. The grip, we just want it to be kind of narrow-ish. A lot of people will do their thumbs, and that's fine. I like going as wide as possible to still have the range of motion, to be able to keep the elbows higher than the bar as you get to about collarbone height. So for me, that grip is going to be a little bit wider that I like than the thumbs, and I just tend to get a little bit off wacky if I'm going by the thumb. So I grab right on that smooth part. So again, I'm going to do 3 to the hip hinge way and 3 kind of the jumping way. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this back to back. All right, so I don't know if you can see the difference there, but basically, and this is also the same thing that people talk about in kettlebell swings. Too, and there's different styles of kettlebell swing. So anyway, in the first variation, the hip hinge variation, what I'm doing is, this is going to be better for lighter weight. I'm just going to kind of maintain that back angle and then stand up really hard to get that hip drive and then pull it with my arms. That's going to be good. It's a little faster. The bar path is much, much straighter, but it's not as powerful as the jumping one. And the jumping one is going to mimic more of what we would do in a clean or a snatch. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that bar, we're going to pull it in just like we would in the first pull of a clean or a snatch. Then we're going to drive the knees forward and do that double knee bend, or use our jumping pattern to drive the bar up and then pull on it. So these are 2 very different ways to do it, both extremely effective. What I like to do is, when it's lighter and I'm able to go faster, I'm attacking with that bar path, and I'm basically just standing up hard to get that hip drive and then pulling it. And when my sumo deadlift, the weight I'm using is really heavy or I'm really tired, I'm going to take that extra step of pull it in and then create that double knee bend to give me that jumping pattern hip drive. So that's going to give me a lot more hip drive at the top, but it's going to make off the ground a little bit weaker to prioritize the top, and it makes that bar path kind of move around a little bit more. So it's going to take a little bit longer to do. So again, there's not really a right or wrong. It's all preference things, but the main reason I wanted to bring it up is for the competitors out there to know that there's 2 different types, and you should be able to develop both of them so you can choose which one you're going to use. But also for kind of the more amateurish and people kind of getting into the swing of things, this is a super common issue that we see in both the clean and the snatch. And what happens is, with more beginner lifters, is they pull and then they just hip hinge hard to get that bar moving up to go do their clean or go do their snatch. And we can get more power out of that double knee bend jumping position to get that drive. So it's all in context. There's not a better or worse. It just depends what you prefer. If the weight's heavy, if it's light, if you're trying to go fast, you're trying to get a little more power at the very top, or if the weight's light enough where you don't really need that power. So once again, I'll try and do 3 with the hip hinge. I'll do 3 with the jumping pattern. We'll call it a day here. So that's hip hinge, pull it in, jump. pull it in, jump. So, hip hinge when it's lighter, jumping position when it's heavier. Hip hinge will be faster. The other one will be a little more powerful, maybe save a little bit more energy, just kind of depends. Develop them both. They both might have a use in your training and might have carryover to something else you're doing. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon. Okay, so in editing this video, I realized that I didn't quite get my elbows up over the bar on the sumo deadlift high pull. So I just want to take a brief second, talk about kind of what you're seeing in the video here, and just to remind everybody that I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to claim to be a perfect athlete. I'm just trying to give everyone tips and advice, and I'm trying to take my own tips and advice. And sometimes when I see myself on camera, it brings to light these things that I haven't noticed before. So one thing in the sumo deadlift high pull, we do want those elbows higher than the bar, but that shouldn't detract from kind of the different types of jumping positions I'm trying to talk about in this video. But the other thing I wanted to point out here is you can see the clear difference in my right and left arms. So we have some movement tests on, and they're very simple things you can do, but we have some movement tests on movementlink.fit that can help you identify these areas before they show up in the middle of a workout or they've been long-term problems. And I've been working hard on my ability to get my thoracic spine to extend and trying to improve that internal rotation of the shoulders, but you can kind of see, because I tend to not do that very well in the sumo deadlift high pull, I haven't been emphasizing these good positions. So this is definitely something I need to work on. But again, in this video, just pay attention to the jumping position and the hard hip hinge. Talk to y'all soon.